All right, so as you guys know, there's a lot going on in the Middle East as well as within the borders if you live here in America. And so I want to talk a little bit about some of the expectations and what's really going on. Now, the first thing I always bring up, right, is Matthew 24, which is when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that you not be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. Right. So all these are the beginning of sorrows. There's a bunch there, but I'll stop there. They'll deliver you up to kill you, afflict you, and just a lot of different things. Right. I won't go deeper into that because then we're going to get into end times and eschatology and a lot of different things. And so this is where I want to kind of give a warning. Everything happening now, right? A lot of things, you have to, again, discern. Is it true in that there is collateral damage? There are lives being lost. There is a war going on for the good of humanity and for the world. It's good versus evil, as well as there are certain things that are false flag events. They're just cover stories. It's not what you think it is. And there's so much more detail behind what's going on. And so if all of this truth is being brought out into the open, there's going to be bigger consequences, especially if it rattles people that are not ready to hear it, right? One of the biggest things that will have to be exposed and restored, healed, changed, whatever it is that the U.S., especially with the internal like CIA and their collaboration with other nations, like bad nations, right? Like I don't want to say bad nations, but certain groups within a nation that have been trying to propose and advance the globalist agenda. And so there are people within the infiltrated, like military infiltrated country, even in the U.S., that need to be brought out and dealt with. And so Trump talks about the swamp, and a lot of people talk about the New World Order, the Illuminati, whatever it is, right? And so there are certain weaponized forms of government and cell groups, secret groups. Some people say like Mossad and just, the CIA, many other groups, right, that are being used for the WEF, Davos, and just other agendas of this quote unquote deep state cabal. And so all of this that's coming out, it can't just be said like, oh yeah, our past president and the Rockefellers and Obama and these guys, they all did this and that, and the Bidens and blah, 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 right? So a lot of that will be hard to stomach. And so what has to happen, as is the case with many other issues in society, is that people have to be sort of spoon-fed and awakened slowly. And one of the things that's coming up right now is in conjunction with a cleanup operation of the world, in essence, from the crimes against humanity, as well as the strong iron grip of certain nation leaders under the influence of these global elite, right? And so one thing, if you've been reading a little bit about the Jordan attacks, as well as Iran and just, the Saudi Arabia, many things are happening now. But what's already happened very clearly, and a lot of people have covered this, is that Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, right, has already been saved in a sense with Trump. They are being used to clean house. Q calls it the one of the legs of this three-legged stool has been, or three or four-legged stool has been removed, right? One leg has been removed. And so all of the stuff that's happened, and you can go research this. You can go research the Las Vegas attacks. You can research just how certain people have just quietly been brought to justice because of their treasonous acts. A lot of this is still happening, and it's going to continue into this year and into the future. And so Trump recently, I'll show this video, talks about how there's going to be, and a lot of us call it the scare event, but Trump, he talks about it in blatant terms. So let's watch this quick video.
And there's a 100% chance that there will be a major terrorist attack in the United States, or many attacks maybe. And it's all because of what's happened over the last 3 years. When I'm president, instead of trying to send Texas a restraining order, I will send them reinforcements.
And you can see there that he says 100% chance of an attack. So a lot of people are anticipating into 2024 this necessary scare event. And so I'm saying this because, again, following the passage, following what we sort of know of this whole operation, do not be concerned. And again, as I said in the beginning, there will be lives lost. There's collateral damage. There's good people that have to go onto the front lines and do their work, and they will, sadly lose their life, right? But it's being done for a bigger purpose. And this is better, right? And again, I'm not trying to compare evil for evil and, the lesser of two evils, but this is better than some crazy nuclear attack or the people who have been in control for a long time. And this is before Trump. Right now, the world is a stage. Biden, right? He's not Biden. This is not the real Biden, right? And so all of this stuff is happening for a cleanup operation of the biggest order. So stuff that's happening right now in the Middle East, a lot of it has been because of oil. A lot of it has been because there have been internal sort of revolts, color revolutions that have been instigated by, sorry to say, the U.S. and many other powers that have been infiltrated for a very long time. And so this is why with this, there's a lot of coups that had happened in Iran, for example. If you go back to just everything that happened with the leader Mossadegh and Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, these guys, right? And again, I'm not going to try to talk too much into that. If you know, you know. But because of the oil, because of MI6, a lot of the British, the CIA, Mossad, many other people. And again, I'm not going to try to get into the depths of this, but you can do some research. But a lot of the atrocities Trump and a lot of the white hats have known about. And so this is why there is a global cleanup happening right now. And that's why Trump continually says things like, I'm the only one who can stop World War III. And Trump never started any wars. He wanted to end all wars. And he knows this great truth of what happened globally with the globalist agendas. And so this is where part of it right now is staged, but a lot of it is part of a cleanup operation. And so when you hear of, and I've said this before, if you hear of military dying or training accidents or people losing their life and certain stories coming out, it's not as it appears, right? Recently, somebody talked about Lloyd Austin, the Biden secretary, right? And so Lloyd Austin, apparently, the cover story is that he is in the Secretary of Defense. He is in a hospital, Walter Reed, because of elective surgery or something like that. But others, right, say that, and according to, this is, again, I'm not claiming this is factual or not, but Russian military basically claimed that he was killed in a missile strike in Ukraine because they were doing illegal stuff there. And you can, again, if you want to research, you can do this. But there's a lot of narratives happening now for which you can't just come out and say who died or who did what. And so there are certain cover stories until the entire war is basically, or majority of the war is basically been cleaned up and done. Because we live in an age, everybody's recording, everybody has video, everybody can leak whatever it is. And if you don't control the narrative, you are losing the war. And so that's why there are divisions in the military across the world doing psyops operations, right? Doing psychological warfare, all of these fifth dimensional warfare. And this is why, even when the Bible talks about the wars and rumors of wars and the complexity behind information, we are living in an age for which you can quite literally be deceived by the wrong stuff. And they can conjure it up, and especially with AI, especially with how you can create bots and have people like something and have people fake engagement and growth and virality. This is why it is a very dangerous time to be believing whatever first news comes out, right? And so this is where God is calling many of us to be higher than what is at face value. And so many of us right now, we have to get right with the Lord. We have to be led by the Spirit. We have to understand and not panic, have anxiety, and make sure that we are trusting the Lord first and foremost. But also, if you see the credibility of certain people saying certain things and doing certain things, and you see it over and over like Trump, right? Then take heed, because over time, right? Time will tell, right? They say time will tell. And everything that's happened so far, whether with Trump or the white hats, the good guys, all this stuff, it has come to pass, or it's true, or there's something else going on, like intentional diversion, right? Trying to make sure that you're trapping the enemy, all this stuff. And so many of us right now, rightly so, a little bit concerned, World War III and Civil War even. If you've seen America right now, a lot of people coming down to the borders in Texas, and a lot of the federal versus state and all this stuff. Some of them, strong and warranted. Others sort of what do you call it, like a smokescreen, and others being done for a specific reason, to rally up, right, the patriotic whatever spirit, and making sure that people really understand how bad certain things are, like all of the open borders. And so be very careful. Be very careful what's happening. And everything that's happening now is being done for a reason. But I'm saying also be cautious with what you believe, but more importantly, make sure you're operating in the spirit. So I want to give you guys this quick encouraging word, because a lot's coming. Don't be concerned. Don't be worried. Certain things are necessary. And I believe, because God has everything, right? The white hats, all these people are doing this for a reason, and that we will have this victory. And by we, I mean God and the good people. And we will see a big cleanup operation of the tallest order. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.